Jackpot! We've talked about red flags many times before, but let's talk about green flags or signs that you found an ideal client, somebody who is going to pay top dollar for your copywriting services. What this means is they are somebody who understands the value of copywriting. And let me tell you, it is so much better when they already have somewhat of an understanding without having to explain it to them. Although explaining it to them, explaining the value of your services is always going to be part of your job as a copywriter. Hey you, I'm Sarah Turner. I'm a freelance copywriter and copywriting mentor, and I want to help you find your ideal client. Because let me tell you, more often than not, newbies tend to go for clients that are not necessarily ideal clients. Oftentimes that's because you're operating from a place of fear, low self-worth, or imposter syndrome is really getting in the way of letting you reach out to those ideal clients. So let's go over a few signs that somebody is the best client for you to reach out to. First things first, they've hired a copywriter before. That is an obvious green flag. If they have worked with a copywriter before, whether or not it was a positive experience, they tend to know about copywriting and the importance of it. Now, let me tell you, I have worked with clients who worked with a copywriter before but did not have a good experience. And that is not uncommon. In the freelance world, freelancers don't always have the best reputations for delivering things on time and for just showing up and being professional, unfortunately. And that's why we're here, right? Because we are not going to be one of those freelancers. So generally, it is a green flag if you hear that they have worked with a copywriter before. It's even better if they had a positive experience, but either way, it means they understand at least somewhat that copywriting is important. The next green flag is that they have more than one person on their team. As somebody who writes for doctors, sometimes I work with clients who don't have a ton of people on their team, and it's often problematic. So what that means is there's a lot more hand-holding. They'll get something from me and they'll say, how do I put this email into something to make it work? And that can be a little bit of a red flag because it means that they don't have the necessary people supporting them to make your copy really do the work that it's meant to do. And if you are starting out, it can be super tempting to take on all the small details, uploading blogs, updating websites, creating landing pages, adding emails into email providers, things like that. But that can really take away from what you should be doing best, which is actually writing effective copy. So it is a green flag when you find a client who already has some of those team members in place. And keep in mind, sometimes I even help some of my clients by saying, you could have somebody who works in your office be the person who actually implements my copy. So don't completely write somebody off if they don't have people on their team helping them with their marketing. But just know that somebody who has no team members are probably not going to be an ideal client for you. Again, another reason that this is a green flag is because anybody who is hiring people to support them knows that they cannot do it all on their own, and they are ready and willing to invest in their business for it to be better and more functional and successful. So that is why it is a really incredible thing when you find a client who already has some of a team in place. I, for example, often work with people who offer complementary services like web developers, social media managers, virtual assistants, and it really helps to cultivate those relationships because you can actually recommend them to clients who maybe don't have that in place. And they, in turn, can recommend you. It's really a mutual beneficial relationship, and I highly recommend it. Another green flag is if they ask questions specific to their needs and their goals and not just about how much it's going to cost them. I mean, when they are goal-oriented and goal-focused, that means that they are really, really interested in making their marketing work. And that is super important. It is a red flag when a client is just like, how much is this gonna cost me? Rather than, what do I get out of it, right? That is the more important question, because if you write a piece of copy that costs $2,000 and it earns them $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, it's worth it. So finding a client who thinks like that is going to be so much more enjoyable and beneficial in your working relationship. Green flag number 4 is that they are not completely clueless about marketing. Maybe they have an email list, but they aren't emailing people consistently. Or maybe they've tried on social media, but they're kind of falling behind and keeping up with that. Sometimes that is an ideal client because they know the importance of marketing, they're trying to do it, but maybe they need a little extra support. So you're the expert. They don't need to know exactly what copywriting can do for them. They don't need to know exactly why it's so important, but they do need to know that marketing is generally important, and to see that they're putting some form of effort in is really, truly going to mean that they're going to be a better client than somebody who doesn't even understand why they should have a good website. Geek. Green flag number 5 is when they're willing to talk about budget. It means they have budget put aside for marketing, and that is a good sign. Trust me, you want to be able to have conversations with people frankly about money. When you are a newbie, I totally understand that can be super, super scary. It was very stressful for me. But you want to get to a place where you're working with clients who have a budget set aside specifically for marketing. And yes, it's still up to you to explain the value that you bring as a copywriter, but when they already have somewhat of an understanding, it's going to make that whole conversation go a lot more smoothly. So they shouldn't be shocked when you ask about their marketing budget. In fact, if they're completely shocked that you're asking them frankly about their marketing budget, that's a red flag. Number 6, they know what they want. Okay, that is kind of a dream client because I have worked with ideal clients who still don't quite know what they want. But if they know their brand voice and have a style guide, so much of the work has been done for you. You may still have to tweak some of your copy and get to know them, and sometimes those things will actually turn out to be a little contradictory. I've also experienced that, so take everything with a grain of salt. But it is so amazing when you get on the phone with a client and they already know what their tone and their voice sounds like. Ooh, it is a dream, let me tell you. And finally, it is a green flag when they have reasonable expectations. I mean, if you are talking to a client and you start talking about budget and their budget is reasonable, you have won the jackpot, my friend. That is a sign that they understand what copy costs. And I gotta tell you, those clients are out there. They really, truly are. And sometimes as a newbie copywriter, it just takes reaching out to them. You can often tell that these are the clients when they already have a bunch of marketing in place. And sometimes newbie copywriters don't reach out to these clients because they think that they already have their shit together. But let me tell you, you never know what's going on behind the scenes. So don't be afraid to reach out to them, even if it looks like they've got all their ducks in a row. So that's my bonus tip for you. You want better paying clients? Aim higher. I am telling you that it is not pay to go for people who don't already have a website in place, because you're probably going to have to convince them the importance of a website. And it is 2022. If you have to convince somebody that a website's important, run the other direction, seriously, as fast as you can. This also means that it's important to up-level your skills. So invest in yourself, take courses on copywriting, invest in a mentor, and grow your skill set, because you are going to be able to offer more comprehensive copywriting strategy. And let me tell you, that is really exciting, because not only are you going to be able to charge more, but you're actually going to be able to impact your clients' businesses better. So invest in yourself, invest in your skill set. Don't be afraid to call yourself a copywriter and to climb up that expertise ladder, because that is how you're going to have a powerful impact in the businesses you serve. So that's it, my friends. Those are signs that you have found an ideal client, and I want to encourage you again that they are truly out there. Yes, it can feel like they are hard to find, but oftentimes it just takes clearing up the lens that you're using so that you're looking for just the right people. Because again, you are in the driver's seat. You get to choose who you reach out to, and you get to choose who you work with. That is really the beautiful thing about being a freelance copywriter. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up button if you like this. Please leave me comments. I love reading them. You guys are amazing. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, guys.